What up, inside 1822? Here to review AEW Double or Nothing. This company just don't miss when it comes to these pay-per-views. They consistently continue to put on the best pay-per-views in wrestling, and it's not close. Now, before I talk about this show, make sure to hit that like button for your boy, because it definitely helps the channel out. Now, let's talk about why did I love this pay-per-view so goddamn much. So, let's talk about Double or Nothing. Shall we kick things off with the AEW Tag Team Championship match, I Quit Street Fight. Christian Cage, Adam Cole versus FTR. This was such a great way to kick off this show, and Christian Cage brought a lot of comedy to a match like this. Tell them, don't. I'll bang your mother and go fuck yourself. Of course, you had the weapons like a pair of pliers, center blocks, tables, chairs. The crowd in New York City was so hot for this match. Song, Copeland song, it was awesome. And we got the returning Beth Phoenix at my favorite spot of the night when Dax Harwood lit the table on fire, and they wanted to spear her through the table, but no, they were able to counter by having Stokely get speared through the flaming table by Cash Wheeler. And then we get to the end. Christian Cage and Cope both have Dax in a submission, sharpshooter plus a crossface, and then Beth found Spike. Colt raked us on the head, and then Dax Harwood said, I quit. What a great way to close out this rivalry between FTR, Christian Cage, and Adam Copeland. And for the first time in AEW, they are the brand new AEW Tag Team Champions. One of the greatest tag teams of all time. And it really brings a tear to my eye, because I thought the days of these two being champions were a thing of the past, but no, we have them in AEW. And I'm really going to look forward to see what they're going to do as the AEW Tag Champions. And how long will they hold these tag team straps? The International Championship match, Nakeska versus Okada. Now, this program been dragged on a very long time for AEW. And I always wonder when this match going to take place. Double or Nothing. And after all that build that was dragged, they made up for this match. This match was incredible. And I know before it started, Dave Meltzer gave it 5 stars, because this was a 5-star match in my opinion. A lot of people be like, oh, since Okada came to AEW, he seems lazy. Well, he was not lazy tonight. These two brought it to New York City. They knew they had to perform at this level. This was just outstanding stuff, and I'm happy that Don Collins did not take away any shine from this match. Yes, he got involved, but it was not that much, and I appreciate AEW for doing it, because other companies would probably have him take a lot of space up in this match, but no, it was all about the two individuals fighting for this championship belt. And they had a sequence in this match where I just loved every minute of it, and the crowd just ate it up. And then we got to the 9th inning, and Nakeska hits a walk-off grand slam. He defeats Okada to become the brand new AEW International Champion. I am a big fan of Nakeska. This guy is the future world champion in AEW, and I'm glad he finally has the biggest moment in AEW. So, post-match, we all knew eventually the Don Collins members are going to turn on Nakeska, and they were teasing their attack. Then we get the return of the protostar Kyle Fletcher, and Kyle Fletcher just sent him back. He just fell. He felt much bigger returning from that injury, and it looked like Kyle Fletcher was going to be a babyface and be with Nakeska and leave the Don Collins family. But as expected, he clotheslined Nakeska, which gave him massive heat, in New York City. This was done very well, and a program between the Keska and Kyle Fletcher, sign me the hell up. Man, I don't want it right away. Build this thing up. Who knows? They might do it at AEW all and but we will see. But congratulations to Keska. Now, these two ladies had to follow up a tough match. An AEW Owen Hart Cup tournament match. Mina Shirakawa versus Athena. But these two ladies did a good job. I was very skeptical how the match gonna play out, but I did enjoy this match from Mina Shirakawa and Athena. Athena is someone I want to see on AEW more. But Tony Khan continued to have her be the ROH Women's Champion. Can we have her drop the goddamn belt so she could be on AEW TV? And this man proved why she should be on AEW TV. And I love you some Mina Shirakawa, and I'm happy that I'm able to enjoy my favorite Rice woman, Mina Shirakawa, on a pay-per-view. And our prediction, I said Mina Shirakawa will be winner, but I tried to be wrong. You're winner of this match, Athena, and I'm very happy with that outcome. Jon Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly, Continental Championship match. Now, Jon Moxley and Kyle O'Reilly, a match I never thought about before, ever, in WWE and AEW. But I've been liking these two working with each other. This was an old school match, groundwork, no high flying spots involved. And it really worked out for me. We all know Kyle O'Reilly submitted Jon Moxley twice, but this time Jon Moxley was able to do the same thing to Kyle O'Reilly. So still your AEW Continental Champion, Jon Moxley, and they did shake hands post-match. And that's one of the confusing things about Jon Moxley, the character. One day he's a heel, the next day he comes over a babyface, then he's a tweener. Eventually, they need to break up the Death Riders by having them take out Jon Moxley first. We have another Owen Hart Cup tournament match, and this is a match I've been wanting for a very long time, and that is Will Ospreay versus Samoa Joe, and this was incredible. Jon Moxley and Death Rider stay out there to watch the match between these two guys, and I love what are they doing with Will Ospreay. We know how good this guy in the ring, but they're adding layers to his character. He decided to attack Samoa Joe before Joe entrance was done, and these two killed it in this match. I love Samoa Joe, and I'm so happy that this guy, after doing so many injuries, been continuing to put on some of the best in-ring action in his career in AEW, and it's such a great thing to see. Will Ospreay hit Samoa Joe with two hidden blades, your winner, and he will hit on in the next round. And we all know he is going to win this tournament, but I'm glad we are telling a story about Will Ospreay. Aside just, hey, I want to win it for the first time. It's Will Ospreay doing different things in the ring. I'm glad they are doing this with his character. Don't have him be a one-way character in AEW. And I'm glad Will Ospreay is willing to make changes for people to get even more invested in him as he's trying to capture the AEW Championship for the first time. We have another Owen Hart Cup tournament. Bandito versus Swerve. Now, this match, it was going fine. But then it really took off for me when Swerve was on top of Bandito's shoulder and hit the last house call into the Swerve stump. And the next 5 to 8 minutes was tremendous stuff. And the crowd just lost their shit. I lost my shit. I was laying down on my back. Then I sat up because it was so awesome what was going on between Bandito and Swerve. And your winner of this match, Swerve, should he advance to the next round. We have a fatal four-way for the AEW Women's Championship. Take the defender belt against Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander, and Shida. I did like this match, and the story of the match was Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander partnership. This has been the best thing about the AEW Women's Division with Hikaru Shida. She is a much better overall talent in AEW. Since she stopped, I'm going to be more of a character instead of just being a very good in-ring wrestler. Tekla, I've been really enjoying her as the AEW Women's Champion. And I was so happy that she is still the AEW Women's Champion because she took advantage of Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander outcome, and she pinned Chris Statlander, and I'm really looking forward to when they're going to have that match between Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida. I have no idea who's going to defeat Tekla for the championship belt, but I am not ready to see her drop the belt because she's been very entertaining and one of the best signings from Tony Khan. The Stadium Stampede match, talk about an outstanding match. This was a dumb, fun match. This is the type of match where you just turn your brain and just enjoy it. It was so much stuff that went on this match, and I love that four-corner Hurricanrana. Tony O looked good in this match. You got Jack Perry, Harry Bush crashing into Mark Davis. The catering stuff, great comedy. Leo Rush cameo. You had Luther. I ain't seen him in a long time. So there was so much good stuff going on in this match. Chris Jericho pulled out the tennis ball because it's in a tennis arena. You had the table spots. I love everybody dressing up for the match. This match was just ridiculous. It was a long match, and I did not complain about it one bit how long this match was. This makes AEW stand as a promotion because you would not see this in another promotion. Shout out to everybody involved in this match. They put on a very great match for everybody home and the people in the arena. The babyface team gets the win. I love the ending where Bishop Kong sacrificed himself for Ricochet and they all hit a super kick on him. And Jericho finishes off with the Lion Salt. So, is this program over between Chris Jericho and Ricochet? Most likely. And Chris Jericho returning back to AEW been a net positive. Now, let's talk about the main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. MJF versus Darby Allin. If MJF loses, he will get his head shaved. And this match was terrific. The way Darby Allin foot clipped on that rope and fell out the way, I said, holy shit. And the crowd just like, oh my God. It was that type of reaction. This is why AEW is needed in professional wrestling. When you get a character like Darby Allin, who is the world champion, but he knows someday his body going to give out. And it was the story of the match. When will things finally go down for Darby Allin? And then the spot, put an MJF on top of the table, jump on top of the Titantron screen with a coffin drop, and this man's head was busted the hard way. And then they had the dynamic of the multi-pinfalls, got to put when the crowd was chanting one instead of two. It was just super fun. And then we get down to the nitty-gritty. MJF hits a power on top of the ropes with a headlock takeover the same way Darby Allin beat for the World Championship. And MJF did the same thing. Your three-time AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Maxwell Jacob Freeman. So, we have a similar finish to close out the championship match where Darby Allin got put on a stretcher just like Hangman Page did in the last match against MJF. He appeared in AEW TV. So, out of nowhere, Kevin Knight chases off Maxwell Jacob Freeman. And out of nowhere, off the top rope UFO, Kevin Knight turns heel. The same Kevin Knight that gave Darby Allin the pep talk. What? Awesome! Because you put a huge spotlight on Kevin Knight, who was one of the bright spots in AEW. And I did not see that coming one bit to close out this pay-per-view. MJF been one of the best things about AEW this year. Also, Darby Allin. I just want to say shout out to Darby Allin for having one of the best title runs I ever seen as a wrestling fan. Because transition runs are not meant to be memorable. But AEW and Darby Allin made it memorable. And we remember his world title run for the next 5 to 10 years later on down the line. 2 thumbs up to Darby Allin for an excellent AEW World Heavyweight Championship run. This show, it was tremendous. And that's why no one does it better than AEW when it comes to the pay-per-view events. You get a lot of matches. Yes, the show is long, But at the end of the day, you get your $50 worth every single time. And it's been a long time since AEW had an average pay-per-view. Talk about one of the best pay-per-views in AEW history. One of the best pay-per-views of all time. Shout out to everybody who works in AEW. And thank you, Tony Khan, for giving us another banger. And New York City crowd, they were amazing. I would love to see AEW do an all-in event in New York City, and I guarantee you, it will at least draw 40 to 50,000 people. So that's the end of my review. If you watch AEW Double or Nothing, give me your thoughts on the show. Negative, positive. I'll respond in the comments like per usual. Hit that like button on this video, of course. As always, don't forget, hit the subscribe button. I am out. Peace.